Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to the Flashing Badger podcast. This week we have a very special episode. Joining me, as usual, are
Mike,
Fitz, Wags.
This week we're playing Daggerheart, the exciting new game from Critical Role. Please join us.
Flashing Badger, Flashing Badger, alright. Flashing Badger.
Thanks very much for joining us this week. As I said, we're playing Daggerheart from Critical Role and Darrington Press. Before we start, though, I'd like to take a moment to read out a review we've received for our last episode, Mothership.
yay!
This is from Bruce Hollywood on the Discord. Just a reminder, jump on the Discord if you haven't. It's a great community over there. Bruce says, I just got finished with this. I can't think of a single moment where I wasn't chuckling or downright laughing out loud, but at no point did that get in the way of there being a clear narrative. Class job all round. This reminded me a lot of the Alien TTRPGs. I've played a couple of those, and they're some of the best TTRPG experiences I've had. This felt like it could easily have been from that universe. In one of ours, we even had a good-natured but bumbling psychiatrist android, almost identical to Dr. Hal Perceptron and his mystery yellow liquid diagnosing ways. Love this episode, and I'm looking forward to episode 2. I'd say we're looking forward to episode 2 as well, because I'm sure we get royalties for the Hal Perceptron shout-out. Is that how that works?
That's exactly how it works.
Fringe dot trademark.
But then we spend it all on sound effects, like this one. Boom! You were meant to be quiet.
I enjoy doing them too much. This week we're playing Daggerheart. I'll give you a very brief intro, and then you guys can tell me about your characters. Daggerheart is set in your classic sort of mystical fantasy world, and one of the selling points of the game is that the characters and the GM kind of build the world as they go. So it's pretty setting agnostic, but the story for this adventure, which is the intro guide, the Sablewood, is that Marlow Fairwind, the right-hand sorcerer of King Emeris, has gathered her most trusted allies to carry an important package to the town of Hush within the ancient forest of Sablewood. The crate they're carrying is large, heavy, and magically sealed. It's addressed to the Whitefire Arcanist. You've been given a carriage, a map, and promise of a reward. So we'll cross now to our very own Marlow Fairwind, Wags.
I am Marlow Fairwind. I am the personal mage to the king, and like you mentioned, I'm responsible for bringing this group together. Marlow appears calm until she isn't. So I'm thinking highly strung, barely keeping the nose above water, ready to snap at a moment's notice, but working very hard to suppress it all, like all good, mentally healthy elves I want to do.
Excellent. Fitz, tell me about who you're playing today.
I'm playing Garrick Reed. I'm a highborn human warrior, a defector from a distant military force. I wield a longsword, and I'm part of the highborn community, born into a life of elegance, opulence, and prestige.
I enjoy that. Mike, talk to me about your character, who's something a little bit different.
I'm playing Barnacle. I haven't thought of a frog voice. Also, don't call me a frog. Barnacle is a member of the Underborne community. He's a rogue, which I believe means very stealthy.
Yep, so sneak thief type, yep.
Do have web feet and big bulging eyes out to the side of me, which really makes me look like a frog. I'm amazing at swimming, but I am also fearful of water. Expect that to come up a lot.
So, are you actually a frog?
Yeah, I think I'm a frog.
All right.
He's a ribbit. You wouldn't call a...
Sorry, a what?
Ribbit. I assume the sound effect was going. So, as you start your adventure, as I said, Marlow, you've led this group
Sure.
on your mission here. How did you gather these guys together with you?
Well, I know Garrick. Garrick and I are old acquaintances. We've fought in many wars together, bringing peace and order to the land. I know he's trusty in a fight, and I know he's a good man. He'll have my back, and we'll accomplish what we need to accomplish. And I also needed a frog, so Barnacle was free.
Hey, it's me, Barnacle. Is that Kermit the Frog here?
I'm going to keep trying out frog voices till one.
Barnacle the frog here.
Fitz will now be playing the role of Barnacle.
The adventure begins. It's evening is just falling. You're on board this rickety carriage that you've taken. That heavy crate with the valuable cargo is in the back there, and you finally made it into the Sablewood. And it's this sprawling forest, there's colossal trees overhead, and these are like California redwood style, massive cover. The canopy cover is so intense that it's Evening seems to be coming on even quicker than usual. And some people say that the forest is even older than the Forgotten Gods. It's a place that's renowned for two things. Its sunken pathways that provide important trade routes through the area, and its unique hybrid animals. So from within your carriage where you're sitting, you can hear strange sounds. And which of you has spent the most time in the forest?
I spent a lot of time in their cavern systems below the forest.
Right, well, I think, Mike, you've put yourself on the spot there.
Yes.
So I think Barnacle has spent a lot of time in this forest. I mean, there's the forest layer on the ground. It's quite muddy and leafy. In fact, you might even say it's knee deep.
That is some of the best material I've heard, actually.
As soon as I heard out you're a frog, I had to get that out there somehow.
I'm going to keep a tally down the bottom.
This is going to be like Nautical John and the fish jokes.
Yeah. This is the best
Check
though,
out
when
our-
it goes from 6 to 9 and they know we had to cut a bunch of stuff with
Yeah.
inappropriate frog jokes.
So, Barnacle, you spent the most time in the forest. You can hear noises from within the carriage. And this isn't a covered, this is just like an open-backed wagon. What animals can you hear?
I can hear canopies coming to life with the different birds. I can listen and hear so many different types of birds.
Like what?
An example would be the triple-breasted turtle bird.
I think I saw that one in Total Recall.
You said they were hybrids. Nice. And also there's one that's part electrical, part diesel.
I see that I set you up for that and now I regret it. Within the wagon, you can hear lark moths, lemur toads. Are they akin to your people? Lemur toads?
Some families split generationally and paired up and moved aside. You're not going to believe it, but it was the toad family,
And the...
ring-tailed lemur.
Fair enough. And that doesn't cause political unrest in your community? You're a pretty tolerant bunch?
Very tolerant, very patient.
One of you's driving the carriage. Which one's driving the carriage?
I'll be driving the carriage. Garrick will be driving the carriage here. He doesn't like to let anybody else take the wheel or the reins, as it were.
Yes. Okay. As you're going through the Sablewood here, obviously, Barnacle's pretty familiar with it. Garrick, there's something that strikes you as unique about the trees here in the Sablewood. What's
Sorry,
that?
can I just, before we go any further, are you a human-sized toad person?
Whoa! Whoa! Frog person.
sorry, frog man.
A bit of a throwback here for you. I'd say I'm about the size of a dog. Size of a pig.
Love that.
But seriously, are you people-sized, or are you frog-sized, or are you...
Well, my standee for the game is about half the size of yours.
Okay, perfect. That's
You're
what it is.
a very large, strapping warrior, obviously. You've probably got a marvellous mustache.
Wow.
He'd be half, up to your chest, sort of mid-height.
No,
He'd be
fantastic.
like a shortish human.
Sorry, I digress. Please ask the question again.
I said you've noticed something unique about the trees here. Tell me what that is that you've noticed.
That the trees here, there's no lower branches. There's pretty much the
Trunk, I believe they call it.
I didn't say stem.
The trunk of the elephant people.
The trunk of the tree, and then there's just the canopy above, but there's very few lower branches, which gives it this sort of disconcerting parallel type. There's no real... You're looking one way and it looks like a line, but you look like the other way and it's a line, and it's very...
Like the winery effect where you look down those rows.
He
Exactly.
can't see the forest.
So
For the trees. Yep.
Exactly. But I've also noticed that a few of the trees along this pathway are marked.
Interesting.
Damn orienteering. It's destroying the forest.
It's geocaching. Yeah. What kind of markings?
I was hoping you'd ask me that. They're marked. They've, Garrick was ear.
I thought it was like
So you're
deer
doing it.
markings, like
No.
rubs, but no, you're like graffiti.
No, graffiti. Just marks made obviously not naturally. So marks where people have scratched obviously symbols to denote different things. I can't decipher them. They might be in a different language or a different thing.
This might become relevant later. As you start turning the corner, bend in the road, it's so tight, this corner, that one wheel of the cart lifts off the ground. And as you get down, you quickly pull the reins back and skid to a halt. Because in the path in front of you, you see an overturned merchant's cart lying on its side and blocking your way. And there's like a handful of fruits and vegetables that have clearly fallen off the back of the cart on the trail there.
Whether you're laying siege to the mighty forts of the Badlands or simply launching objects at church on a Sunday, you can trust Trebuchet.
Trebuchet.
Why not pop on down to 3 Point at Crimson Plaza and test launch one of our models today?
Trebuchet.
Lay waste to your adversary in any season, weather or terrain, thanks to the Launchmaster Beyond 2000 Signature Series, featuring an all-leather cup and a puma hide awning, proudly displaying the name that has led the forefront of warfare for over 100 years.
Trebuchet.
Because remember, if it's not from the Trebuchet region, all you have before you is a sparkling catapult.
Flashing badger.
And as you're looking at the merchant's cart, just as your own cart comes to a halt, you see this creature come out from behind it. And stepping into view with this sort of feline grace comes out a creature with the body of a wolf, but the face of an owl and giant, extensive wings from its back. This, of course, is the famous Strix wolf of the Sablewood. They're only found here. What's your first thought when you see this thing? How do you react? Garrick?
I'm on high alert. I know these things are quite dangerous. They are quite aggressive, and they are not to be trifled with.
Marlow, you're a woman of education, obviously being a mage, and you've got connections in the Royal Palace and things. Have you got any knowledge or experience of these that these guys might not have?
Yes, they're susceptible to magic-based attacks. As much as I'm a fan of Garrick hitting things with his sword, might need to do things with a bit more finesse. Also, the pelts are extremely valuable. It might make a nice return present when we get back to the royal courts.
So, Barnacle, the other two seem pretty focused on this is going to be something that you need to fight or that is going to fight you. You're a bit more connected to nature. Do you feel the same way?
I don't. I'm at one with nature, and I know that its call can often indicate to you what sort of a mood it's in. And being an owl wolf, it normally has a real "Arhoo!"
Werewolves of London. Something up for, sorry.
So I'd be looking for cues of the animal's behaviour and how it's presenting. This is an animal I would normally hide from, but it goes about its own business as well. So
Barnacle and Marlow, you're both on the back of this wagon, and obviously Garrett's just pulled the reins to a halt.
Yeah.
As soon as you've seen this creature, what's your first reaction? What are you guys doing? Are you staying where you are? Are you jumping out the wagon?
Yeah, I'm straight out. I'm hyper vigilant. Like I know the importance of our mission, so I'm ready for any danger. And anything out of the ordinary, I assume is dangerous and coming to get us. So I jump out, long staff at the ready, start thinking about how I'm going to tackle this thing.
I'm scared, and I freeze, and I start to change my colour to be the colour of the wagon around me. But then I hiccup, and I go, and then my colour goes back to normal, and then starts going back towards the colour of the wagon.
Actually draws more attention to yourself than if you
I
just sat
become
still.
like this flashing as I
I've stood up as well, so I'm still on the wagon. I'm at more of I've seen Marlow spring into action, and I've stood up. I've drawn my sword, but I'm not advancing. I'm just sort of keeping almost the high ground up here, just seeing what this creature does next.
The Strix wolf is immediately, it's sort of wary. You can see that it's become aware of you as soon as you came around this corner. Obviously, the wagon's made a bit of a clatter as it comes to a stop, and you can see it slowly sort of sidestepping as it keeps its eyes absolutely fixed on you.
It'll buff out. How about we just pick up the pace and squish it?
You're already at full stop. I think it's too late.
Yeah.
Get it into gear.
The overturned merchant wagon's basically blocking the whole track here. So what we're going to do is get you to roll. I'm going to roll a presence roll now to see how the creature reacts to.
What dice will we use?
So using a presence roll. So in this game, action rolls of basically any type are decided by what they call the duality dice. So that's 2 D12s of different colours, one of them representing hope and one of them representing fear. Whenever you do a roll, you're going to add those two numbers together, tell me the result, compare it to your stat. If the hope dice is higher, you have succeeded or failed with hope or with fear. Fear gives me tokens that I can spend as the GM to do nefarious things. Hope gives you guys tokens that you can use to boost future rolls or so on. So a success with hope is the best of the best, and obviously a failure with fear is the worst of the worst.
And our characters have some traits that may influence the result of the rolls, such as our experiences. Do we apply those once we roll and give you the score? For example, I have they don't see me coming. So if this is in relation to whether or not I'm being spotted.
So there's a couple of different categories of skills in this game. So agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, and knowledge. And you're right, there's a couple of experiences which are modifiers you can put on rolls. To use those experiences, you'll spend a hope to apply that experience to the roll. And essentially then you'll explain to me how it relates. So in this case, you haven't got any hope yet. So we're going to do just a straight presence roll. So all three of you, roll your duality dice for me.
I have a 14 with hope.
I have a 7 with fear.
And I have an 11 with fear, but I've got a -1 presence, so I've got a 10 with fear.
Okay. Garrick and Marlow, you've both succeeded in this roll. So I'm going to take a fear token for that one that Garrick's rolled there. And Wegs, I'll get Marlow to take a hope token, and you can spend that later on.
Because I'm from the Underborne community, when in low light conditions, I'm able to roll with advantage on any roll that involves hiding.
Excellent. Okay. I'm happy to let that go. So roll that hope dice for me again.
It is lower. So my best was a 3
Okay.
on the hope dice.
So
So,
you have-
I've rolled a 7 with fear.
So you failed with fear. So for you two, you can see the Strixwolf kind of looks at you, and it's not really paying that much attention, and its attention quickly slides across to Barnacle. And whether it's his chameleonic flashing,
Huge bulging eyes.
the huge bulgy eyes, or the fact that he sort of panicked himself getting out of the wagon, he's started snarling, and you can see the hackles go up on the Strixwolf, and it started hunching itself down lower. And I've taken a fear for that failure. It's got its eyes locked on you, Barnacle.
I could really use some hope right now.
It's got its eyes locked on you. It's stressing you out. I'm going to need you to take a stress for me as well.
I've got this vision of you like waving your hands above your head going, ah!
It's got my child. So what do you want to do now? It's not on the attack, but it's certainly looking pretty aggressive at you, Barnacle.
I've got a dual staff that I could use for magical attacks. And as much as I think it would be a nice pelt to take home to the royal court, I might try and scare the thing off before we have to actually fight the thing. So I'm going to launch some sort of electrical thunderbolt in front of it and try and scare it away.
Okay, tell me about some of your spells that you've got there and what you're planning to do with those.
I do have a spell called Unleash Chaos. Make a spellcast roll against a target within far range. Spend any number of tokens to channel raw energy from within yourself to unleash against them.
Right, so Marlow, you're going to decide to use your innate magical talents to make some kind of intimidation roll against the thing. Great. Well, I'll tell you what, you're a gifted magician or wizard. Which do you prefer?
First one and then the other.
Fantastic. As a gifted wizard magician, I'm more than happy for you to make a roll. Let's use your presence roll again for... You're doing like a performance here.
Yeah.
So roll your duality dice for me, and you can have advantage on this. So you've rolled 11 there with a +1 to make it 12. Okay,
Yes.
so re-roll that hope dice and let's see what the advantage gets you.
It's gone worse for me.
Okay.
11 with fear.
Regardless of your slightly bumbling efforts there, you have succeeded in drawing the attention of the Strixwolf away, and it's no longer locked in, and the hackles have sort of relaxed a little bit. It's no longer down in its haunches. It seems to now be generally wary, but it's certainly not viewing Barnacle as a massive threat.
I say we kill it.
Yeah, and you know what? Garrick Reed doesn't suffer this kind of shenanigan or malarkey well. He sees his opportunity to very quickly... Now, we in an oxen or horse-drawn cart?
It's an oxen-drawn cart.
Oh, excellent. So standing from my position on the seat of the cart, I basically run down the back of the oxen, leap into basically the direction of the Strixwolf, and with a giant hoya... I was going to do a Miss Piggy one, but then I thought in deference to Barnacle, I wouldn't bring up that pain.
I'd lose my cloaking ability again.
I'll give a giant chop at its head. I'm assuming that it's attacked this merchant vessel, and I've got no time for this thing.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm just
Assumptions.
waiting for us to converse with the wolf.
Yeah. As you're leaping towards it, it says, "Oh, excuse me, I wonder if you know any way."
My oxen has run off.
I had a quest for you, adventurers.
All right, so you go. So
I didn't like the way it was looking at my frog friend.
fair enough. So combat in Daggerheart works slightly unusually for perhaps traditional RPGs in the sense that there's no initiative, there's no turns. Essentially, you guys act until I spend a fear to make one of the adversaries act. But you've pretty clearly got the jump on it here. So roll for me. It's the same as an action roll. So roll your duality dice there.
I've got a 22 with hope.
Wow, magnificent. Okay, so take a hope for a start. Describe for me how this attack goes then. How does it... Because you're about to sink this sword into the creature.
Basically, I'm thinking of a sort of anime Yu-Gi-Oh type leaping from the back of an oxen, double-handed longsword straight down in a execution style chop.
Is it
the
like
back
a
of this
Crouching Tiger,
Yes.
Hidden Dragon, where you do the
knees up
the
high,
ludicrous... Yeah.
the in the air, and the sword is coming straight down, hopefully on the nape of the creature, because I've heard that these heads of these creatures can actually be worth a little bit as well.
Right. So roll your... whatever your damage says on your stat sheet there.
So it's 1d8 plus 3. 5.
So you roll a total of 5. So the creature is recoiled, and there's this big bloody slash that comes from up near its shoulder somewhere. And you see it immediately pull its left front paw back towards it, and it scampers back, hops back a full body length from you.
Going, I say, oh, Joe, what?
The bell on his collar jingles.
Yes, his monocle and pipe falls out as he jumps out the way. The creature is clearly sort of in recoil from you, and at that moment, you hear from the trees around this faint wolf chirp howl, much quieter than before, and you see 5 or 6 little pups drop down to be behind their mother.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I feel a little bad right now. No, I don't.
Drown a crate of owl puppies.
In a Hessian sack off the bridge.
So, Barnacle and Marlow, what are you doing here? In fact, I think I'm going to use this opportunity to spend a fear, and I'm going to put a spotlight on one of the adversaries. And that adversary is obviously going to be the Strixwolf mother. And the mother is utterly empowered and enraged by the presence of her cubs and her pups. She's terrified for their safety. She's actually been unprovoked attacked by some wild human that's leapt off a cart at her. So,
To be fair, it does appear as if she's attacked this merchant cart.
Are we the bad guys?
Are we the baddies?
you're on your mission to rid the forest of nature already. The mother's going to attack you. Can you tell me, you have an evasion number there in your character sheet. Tell me what that is, please.
My evasion number is 11.
Okay, so she's rolled a 16, so she's going to hit you for 5 total damage. So if you look at your brackets there, I suspect that means you'll lose 1 HP. So it uses a bracket system in Daggerheart where if it's below a set value, in this case it's 7, it does 1 HP damage. Between 7 and 14, it does 2 HP. Over 14, it does 3 HP, which is, it's a bit of a different approach to most RPGs and stops that kind of stat. So most characters have, 6, 7, 8 HP total. So you took 1 HP damage there?
Yes, I did.
All right, Marlow has a class feature, Minor Illusion. On a success, I create a minor visual illusion, no larger than ourselves, within close range. This illusion is convincing to anyone at close range or farther. I'm trying to scare the thing off, because now I think we're all on the same page. We feel a little bit bad. I tried to scare it off in the first place with my
Well, you didn't do a very good job.
Thunderbolt. No,
Thing.
admittedly.
It's a mother.
I'm going to try... What's the natural predator of these? Owl wolf?
You tell me.
It's a clumsy, sword-bearing, buff, mustachioed warrior, highborn warrior.
So you're going to make an illusion of more... Another warrior,
That's
like
more
he's got
clever than the thing I
reinforcements?
was thinking, so let's go with that.
Sure. So you'll see there on your sheet, it's a spellcast roll with a difficulty of 10.
It is, yes.
So I'll get you to roll your duality dice for me.
It's a critical success.
Most excellent. Double.
Double threes.
So in Daggerheart, any double that you roll, regardless of the number, is always a critical success. So because you rolled a critical, you can remove stress if you have any. You can take a hope, and there's going to be a great result here. You see that the Strixwolf recoils and quickly starts scampering back, does like a full body leap backwards as its pups glide down and nestle on her back in between her wings. And she frantically takes flight. And she goes all the way, and you can tell because the canopy is, as Garrick told us before, the tree canopy is so high, you can see dozens of feet above you, hundreds maybe. It nestles in the tree canopy overhead, and you can see it hunched over there, licking its wounded arm and keeping its pups away, but you can see it's keeping an absolute fixed eye on the group as you go around. It's definitely out of immediate danger range at the moment.
What's for dinner, mother?
Father, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Kids, it's McWizard's time.
Yay!
Take the family to McWizards tonight and try our latest McDouble Dragonfire. 2 dragon flame patties, melted elf cheese, and our all-new orc sauce. You'll think it was forged in the fiery pits of Mount Yum itself. Plus, for a limited time, add it to a McOldie combo and try our new wizard fries. Seasoned with ethically sourced unicorn horn, it's a taste sensation. Try it in store or use our patented oxen and horse drive-thru. The new McDouble Dragonfire, only available at participating castles till the next full moon.
'Tis sorcery! Delicious sorcery!
McWizards is not responsible for spontaneous transformations of heightened aggression due to orc sauce consumption.
Fashion Badger.
What are you guys doing now?
My cloaking slowly disappears again, and I've still got the hiccups because I'm a bit scared. I'm going to go take a look at the merchant's wagon. And as I hop over, and because I've got my big eyes, I just lean one of them right in to the merchant's wagon and have a look.
I picture you as looking kind of like Rango from that animated film, but dressed like Han Solo. I don't know why.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that, the little waistcoat.
Yeah, the way, yeah.
I like the idea that every now and then your frogginess takes over, and like when you go to climb out of the wagon, you actually get stuck and have to remove your own like
The suction cups.
from the. There you go, and then just go along.
And I was on the side of the wagon like a Garfield on a 1996 Toyota Corolla window. Just blended in, and then
You make that sound every time you step, like on every
Which
surface.
is a terrible deficit for a stealth-based character. Everyone's like, do you hear bubble wrap?
I almost feel like I need to apologise to the group at this point. Sorry, chaps. My bad. Got a bit excited for the adventure happening and maybe got a bit chop happening.
it was going to get worse if it didn't fly away, knowing that the pups were giving it this violent aura.
Yeah.
I was going to start eating pups. I mean, like, it'll reduce its power.
Just every now and then, from the side vision, just his tongue shoots in.
I've got a tongue attack, and I'm going to grab one pup and see if it makes her less enraged, because she has fewer to protect.
It's a known statistic, isn't it? The less babies you
And I would have
protect.
thrown in some lore about the owl wolves in this area.
At the end of the
Good luck
battle,
with that.
we're all damaged. We're all damaged and bleeding. We look around at you and you're just fat rolling around going, oh,
I ate too many pups.
I ate too many pups.
Right, so you approach the merchant's cart, and as you get closer, you can see the cart's been stripped. The lockbox that would usually be behind the driver looks like it's been broken open. There's no money, or there's a scattering of a handful of coins on the ground, but there's nothing valuable there. There's a few vegetables thrown around on the ground.
The black box is missing, so we'll never know how the crash happened.
The driver is there, and his leg's partially under the wagon, and he's got a mangled arm. You can see that the evidence of him being pecked away and part of him being eaten by some of the Strixwolf. You can see the big beak marks in the body of the driver, and a handful of smaller ones that you would assume are from the babies there.
See, I was right to do. Vindication!
But you can't see, it's not immediately apparent to you how he died.
I'm not a doctor.
These look like post-mortem wounds to you.
Oh, okay.
I also have another class feature, Arcane Sense. I can sense the presence of magical people and objects within close range. And given that we're all kind of close and checking out this scene, I might just take a moment and take in the surroundings and see if I can pick up on any magical vibes.
How does this manifest? How does the people watching you, how do they see you do this magic sense? Is there some big visual representation, or do you just sort of tilt your head?
No, I do a bit of quite the opposite. I sit down and close my eyes, a bit like a bit of a Yoda maneuver. I tend to go quiet and dignified.
I was hoping you're going to do some Minority Report stuff and you're put on
that.
your power glove
that,
and you're moving stuff around.
No, I sit down and close my eyes.
You detect nothing. There's the background radiation of the universe, if you like, that you always
the
pick
glove.
up. Not specifically. You don't detect anything specifically. There's no pulses of. There's just the general. And there's lots of magical beasts that live in the forest. But from your time in the cart, and you've been travelling through for a few days, it's sort of what you'd expect.
Okay.
I can see the post-mortem marks of the beaks, but now I hop a little bit closer and I lean my eyeball right in to the merchant, and I'm having a look to see what may have caused him his demise.
Okay, why don't you make me an instinct roll? So roll your agility dice. You've got instinct modifier there of, is it +2?
It's just 0.
Okay, roll that.
Ooh, I've given you an 18 with hope.
Obviously, take a hope for yourself.
Yay.
And you can see the driver's throat is reasonably cleanly cut. And from what you can tell, it would be a blade. This doesn't look to you like a tooth or a fang or a claw. This has been cut by something, I say man-made, but intelligent species made, I suppose.
Clearly that Strix was armed. So, like I did what I did.
Excuse me as I take a stress now that I know that there's armed owlwolves.
Strixwolf is having a switchblade. Yeah. They're famous for it. So you lean right in close, and Barnacle gets this. You see he sort of instantly recoils in a bit of surprise.
You're going to get...
I thought that was I was like, oh, we'll redo that take. Nope. He's going to inflict that on the listeners. Garrick, while he's over there, the beast has just flown away from you, a little while ago. I presume you're keeping a sort of weather eye on the...
I am, but I'm also mindful that regardless of how interesting this is and the first thing that's happened on our adventure, we do need to keep moving forward. I kind of don't want to get stuck in this forest at night. So I'm sort of making moves, one eye on this beast, but also one move to try and get this cart up and out of the way, using a bit of strength to try and lift it up. And in that same token, be able to lift it off the driver, and perhaps old Froggy here can have a bit better of a look at him.
Okay. A froggy's a pejorative term, I think, but...
Sorry, Barnacle.
Because I'm so in tune with nature and I've lived in these woods, I'm looking across the ground and I'm trying to find tracks or markings that would suggest someone coming and going from this area. If his throat has been slit, I'm trying to see if there's prints.
Yeah. So you do see wearing a cravat and a raspberry beret. You just see him peering out from behind a tree, slightly up the trail. And he quickly disappears from view.
Cream.
Marlow, while we're at this, I'll queue up a few. What are you still mid-meditation, or are you finished now?
No, I haven't been able to pick up anything, so I've stood up and opened my eyes, watching Garrick trying to move his cart, going, yep, it's good, yep, put your back into it, yep, good job.
Lift with your back.
So a quick
jerky movement.
Lift and twist.
Lift and twist.
So there's a legal disclaimer. Please don't lift that way. Barnacle, I'll cut to you quickly before Garrick's really trying to lift the cart in earnest. And I'll say your perception roll before was really good. And you've had a really good look around. And you do notice that there's this thorny bramble that's wrapped around one of the rear wheels of the carriage. And you can see it's actually stretched directly across the track, level with the rear wheels, and it's snagged up. It's bitten hard into one of the wheels, and it disappears off into the foliage to the left and to the right of the track there. What do you make of that?
I'm worried that it's a trap and it's not just simply... Because this is a well-worn path that I'd expect.
God, I just had a vision of your frog face going, that's a trap. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt there.
It seems almost planned, doesn't it? It's like,
I get really low to the ground and I move following the thorny bramble to the side, and I'm moving through the shadows and I get really low. And even though they might be making a bit of a commotion and turning carts and doing things, I'm business and trying to hide as I move.
zoning on your surroundings.
Yep.
Excellent.
And I'm trying to follow to where its starting point is.
That sounds perfect to me. I think you're the man for the job. Make me an instinct roll. So that's when we rolled before for perceive as well. That's a +0.
I've rolled you a 3 with hope, but I'd hopefully argue that I'm operating within the shadows here, and I'd be using my frog-born stuff.
Okay,
And
sure. You did describe to me how you got down low to the ground and did all that, so I'm happy with that. Give me, I'm a very generous.
so this is with advantage, so that's just re-rolling my hope.
Rerolling your hope dice, yep.
It's better. It's an 11 with hope.
You're tuned in and you're filtering out the noise of Garrick sort of wrestling with the cart, and he's beginning to try and get his position. He's grumbling to himself as he does it, and Marlow providing some sort of half-hearted moral assistance in the background. And at that very moment, there's like a cavalcade. To your ears, it's this massive roar of cracking branches and disturbed foliage and blades coming out of the sheath, and the noise of steel on leather rings in your ears as, jumping from their position along the sides of the road, come a group of 4 small, well-disguised ambushes.
It's a hambush. It's the pig folk.
It's the thistle folk.
Oh!
Close.
Famously live in these woods, and they're known to be sort of a reasonably insular community, but people that are living on the verge of civilization, I suppose.
Thistlefolk. Prickly
Thistle
personalities. Sorry. Sorry.
Do not apologize.
Even that jump scare hasn't cured my hiccups.
I love the way. I love the vision of you sneaking away and you're like your flat frog pose. And like all of a sudden us going, where's he gone? Where's he? What's happened to him?
And there's bounty man. They're gonna eat me.
Just running back, straight away running back. Okay, so
I'm hyper vigilant, so I've been on the lookout for all this sort of stuff. I'm ready to go. The second they're charging towards us, I've got the dual staff raised and firing.
The thistle folk that come out they're quite small, they're quite low to the ground. They've got these, I suppose their closest relative is something like maybe a gecko. They've got these big eyes on the side of their head. And
Yeah, we got one of those.
In the darkness, you're going to attack me.
send out the emissary.
Yeah.
They're dressed a bit like Mad Max tribes. They've got torn robes and different bits of camouflage to
jackets.
break up their outline. Leather jackets. One of them's wearing a hockey mask.
Crow.
One of them's got a V8 interceptor.
That's how he first picked him up. He went, "Is that a V6? No, it's a V8." And one of them has a small man on his back with a loudspeaker.
Get a kick.
May I present the Thistlefolk ambush, which is a terrible trait.
I'm surprised the flamethrower didn't give them away.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
We're all doing our part to eliminate the human menace from our world. Join the Igodwaha today. That's the Elf, Goblin, Orc, Dwarf, Wizard, Anti-Human Alliance. We're a small but reasonably principled group committed to the total annihilation of the human race. Let's face it, humans are awful. The worst parts of all other life blended together in an embarrassment of existence. Surely an affront to the gods themselves. We at Igodwaha are seeking your support, whether it's a financial donation of your entire life savings or simply joining our marauding mobs of slathering, fiendish, ravenous beastmen. Together, we can clean this world of the filth that stains our very honor. Are you doing your part?
Flashing badger.
Jumping from the bushes, these 4 come, and they're clearly, it's like a sort of ghillie suit for the fancy word. They've had their outline broken up. You're not surprised that you didn't see them, but they launch out. The first one immediately pounces. There's 4 of them, as I said. Immediately pounces towards you, Barnacle, and swings his sword because you're the one who's off in the brush with him. You're the closest, and it's a little short dagger.
But it's me, Barnacle.
But he only rolls a 5, and I think your evasion's
13.
13. So you elegantly sidestep out of the way of this dagger as it comes out, and he's sort of off balance from having to lift himself up from the ground. Numbers 2 and 3 rapidly go racing towards Garrick, and the 4th one seems to sort of skulk behind and has made his way directly past you and is now on the reverse of the cart from Garrick, so he's shielded from the view of the rest of you.
Right.
You guys think for a second, you turn around, Marlow and Garrick, you turn around just as they kind of flurry into view. And the first thing that you know of them is one launching off the top of the cart towards you, Garrick, and swinging his sword down at you.
God.
So he's rolled a 14. Tell me about your evasion score there.
So my evasion score is an 11.
Okay.
So I guess I'm going to get hit. Okay.
So he's hit you. I'll roll a dice here. He has done no less than 12 damage to you.
Oh, God.
So
That's
with
major damage.
So you're going to take 2 HP for that.
Right.
Does your armor help protect you at all?
I do have a 3 armor.
So your armor, 3 is virtually the number of times you can use it. When you use an armor, you cross it off for me.
Right.
You decide when you use it, and it drops you one full threshold. So it drops you from severe to major, from major to minor, or from minor to no damage. But you can only use one armor per attack.
Well, I might do that then. Thanks for the suggestion, Barnacle.
I need you alive.
Barney, as I've started to call you.
So you drop down, you only use one. You lose one. hit
So I'll
point.
use what? So it drops me from a major to a minor, and I'll use one armor point.
Now the third one, Marlow, is rapidly pushed out from the shadow at the side of the van, and or the side of the wagon, you've just opened your eyes, and your vision's still reacclimating to the conditions, and you see this thing launching at you with an overhead swing. Unfortunately, you are so in tune and in touch and so leveled and centered that you twist your body the slightest degree and it flails past you. Absolutely carried by its own momentum. It's you guys' turn. Like I said, there's no initiative. Who would like to do something?
I have an idea of what I'd like to do.
Let's go, Barnacle.
I'm keen to get myself cloaked and hidden into the shadows again. So I noticed that 3 had committed past me, and 1 is standing off to the side of the wagon.
One's still with you. One's the one that swung at you. Yep.
So, and I'm over at the edge of the trail where the thistles have met, I guess, their initial tie-off sort of point. My goal is to quickly leap into those shadows and then disappear. So I have abilities, which is effectively returning to the shadows and being cloaked as a rogue.
Excellent.
This is my goal. It's just they've got the jump on me. I now want to retreat to be able to attack later.
So Barnacle, your goal is to get back into stealth, back in the shadows there, using your ribbit traits. I
I've
presume
got some really cool abilities for when I'm operating in the shadows. So my goal now is to get myself hidden again.
All right. So give me, I think you're going to try and make a sort of a giant leap away from this combat. So give me an agility roll, and we'll see if we can get you back into the depths of the forest a little away from the track. So that's going to be your normal duality dice with whatever agility bonus you have.
Perfect. I have a +1 to agility, and I've rolled you a 12 with hope, which will become a 13.
You make a giant leap back, and you end up 5 or 6 trees quickly back, and as soon as you hit the ground, you drop yourself straight into the ground, into the shadow behind one of these great trees, and you're concealed by the waist-high fern and thicket and everything, and the shadow of the tree falls over you perfectly, and you can feel the cool on your ribbit skin as the blazing, or the setting sun is no longer on you. You can tell your skin does a little sort of crawl that lets you know instantly that you're in shadow. You can feel your affinity with the dark kick in.
I love that it should sound like a whole bunch of leaves and things and twigs snapping as I burst through a bush, but as I disappear into the bush, it's then just silent. It's like, ow.
You just hear
It's
it.
And I'll take a hope as well for succeeding on the roll with hope. That takes me up to 15 hope. I've been cheating while you're not looking.
So Garrick and Marlow, what do you guys do?
Well, I'm quite annoyed that I've been injured and attacked by a lizard-like desert humongous, whatever it is. So I'm just nothing fancy, nothing hiding in shadows, nothing anything. I'm going to hit this thing, and I'm going to hit it hard.
Roll your dice for me.
So I've rolled a 13 with fear. However, I do have a hit them hard experience, which is a +2.
Okay. What you need to do then, to use an experience, you spend a hope, and you give us some explanation of how that's going to manifest.
Right. I'm basically just going to hit it on the top with my sword as much as I can. So I'll take my hope. I'll do that.
So it's using a bit like big double-handed sword, is it?
The biggest, just crash it down as hard as I can. I'm hoping to cleave this creature in twain.
Lovely. Sounds very sophisticated when you say it like that. So you've spent that hope. So that experience gives you a +2 on your roll there.
Yes.
So you were sitting at what number before?
I was sitting at a 13 with fear.
Sure. So now you're going to be at a 15 with fear. So I will take a fear token, but roll me damage because your giant strike with 2 hands, trying to cut the thing through the midsection.
So I've rolled a 5, but I have a D8 +3. So I've rolled an 8.
8 damage. Excellent. So you see this, your sword digs through the soft leather armor of this creature and gets a good few inches into its side. The creature recoils and falls off your blade, sort of pulling itself back, stumbling. And it's not out of the fight by any means, but you can see it's leaking internal ooze quite rapidly. You can tell that this thing's badly hurt as it's hobbling away. Marlow, before you go, I'm actually going to spend a fear of my own to try and activate one of these characters. So I'm shining a spotlight on the thistle folk that's gone on unremarked. you see, just from the corner of your eye, you can make out that it's now scurrying its way back along the trail to where your wagon has come to a stop.
Oh, no.
And you see it start to pull,
wagon.
to pull itself up the side of your wagon, up towards where the sort of passenger area and the driver's seat is.
Their MO is destroying wagons.
I don't call them Team Wagon Destroyer for nothing.
I'm just worried that a whole bunch of baby thistle folk are going to come out and make me feel real guilty about killing this last one.
We've got to get out of this forest.
They were repairing the trail after a nasty crash.
They're actually the Greenpeace of this world. They've got a big boat they're going to put away and fire harpoons at.
The thistle shepherd.
Marlow,
Yes.
previously one's swung at you and you've done your little matrix dodge out the way. What would you like to do?
I've got an eye on this one that's running towards our wagon. This is my... Yeah, you want me to talk in character? This is what you're getting. This is what you're getting, Mike.
I'm not sure we can live with that voice, but sure, let's run with
I
it.
don't know whether he's going to attack or clean my chimney.
It is Dick Van Dyke level act.
I was just going to say that.
So Marlow, you've got some experience in combat before. How are you gonna? What are you gonna do? This.
So I've seen this thistle man running towards our wagon. Not on my watch. I've got an experience called Not on My Watch. So I'm going to attack it with my magical dual staff. I get +2 because it's based in instinct. 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 with fear.
You fire your magical blast. Describe to me how that works. What does it look like? What does it smell like?
It's like a lightning bolt. You can smell that crackle of like that ozone, that rich smell. Something that's not... It is part of the natural world, but you definitely don't want it anywhere near you.
Is the flash of light, is it sort of like a classic blue lightning, or is it like a flashbang going off that's going to...
Yeah, no, it's that pure white light of pure lightning, and it's just bolts straight into the back of the little goblin thing running towards our stuff.
Right, roll the damage for me.
7 damage.
You see, this thing is wearing this armor of polished stones that are overlapping, and you see the lightning blast hit it square in the middle of the back, and there's this almighty crackle, and you see like little sub bolts jolting off it into the foliage around it, and you hear the as the thing sort of falls, and you see it fall off the side of the wagon and disappear from view. The wagon's now between you and it. It's somewhere down there in the shadows.
It's like laser tag. He's out of the game for 5 seconds now.
He's back in. You other two, Barnacle, you're in shadows now. Do you want to...
I'm so excited to emerge out of the shadows. You all forgot about me. You all forgot about Barnacle. I'm going to emerge, and I'm going to jump from the shadow that I'm in. Mm-hmm. Who do I have near me as enemies?
The one that you left behind is probably the closest of that group, and he's sort of looking out now into the foliage to see where you've gone. But
This is the
also
best.
right near, a few paces back from him, probably equidistant almost, is the one that's just been knocked off the side of the wagon. So he's sort of pulling himself to his feet, having been struck by a lightning bolt.
Oh, no, he's in a bad way. I'm going to leave him. I feel bad already.
He survived that.
I love the idea that the one that I was fighting, he saw me go and jump into the bushes and just disappear. And he's like, And then my goal now is to re-emerge in the shadows behind him.
Sure.
In that beautiful Hollywood moment of I just start to rise from behind him.
Yep. Well, he's taken, where you disappeared, obviously, he's taken a few steps past where you went now, and he's looking down in the bushes, and he's trying to work out if you've chameleon somewhere, so he's kind of probing around with the tip of his dagger. Tell me about that. That's an ability for your character, is it, the teleport?
It is. So I can gain a stress by moving from one shadow to another, even if it's at far range.
Does it need a roll, or is it just automatic
So I
success?
gain the stress. It tells me that when I move into an area of darkness or shadow cast by another creature or object, then I can mark a stress to disappear from where I was and then reappear inside the new shadow.
Excellent.
And then when I reappear, I'm cloaked.
Excellent. So you're going to blink into existence shortly behind him. So mark that stress for me.
I can do that. And the noise that I make when I disappear and teleport.
Is it a bamf noise?
Oh, it is, but it's also mixed with a hiccup.
Let's hear it.
It goes bam as I disappear and then as I re-emerge behind him.
It's horrible. Your insistence on hiccups is going to be horrible for the audience.
Grace
but-
like just a out of existence back.
You can add in all the sound effects you want right here.
I like that. Yeah, we always do this. We spend time doing them, and then in the edit, I cut them.
You just cut them.
Or sometimes I layer them over the top so we can hear the inept attempts that we made in the first place. All right, so you've appeared shortly behind him. He's got his back to you. You are cloaked. You have advantage on any rolls you make.
I do, and I have my sneak attack that I can perform. So whilst I'm cloaked, which I am because I've jumped from shadow to shadow, and he's in melee, I'm using my dagger, named Dagger. It was handed down from me, from Barney, my father. Please don't call me Barney.
Please. Barnacle is my father. Call me Barney.
Mr. Barnacle's my
So I
father.
get to add some damage on, but I'm performing this sneak attack whilst cloaked out of the shadows.
Fantastic. Roll the duality dice for me.
I have an 11 with hope, and then
And you do have advantage, so you can re-roll the hope dice.
yes, it now becomes a 13 with hope.
That's exactly what you needed, so well done.
Yes.
Good job you had advantage there. Excellent. So the damage is getting through. Roll me your damage dice, and let's see what effect that has.
Excellent. So I move across to my dagger, which is a D8 plus 1 physical. So I'll start there. And then it's a 7 plus 1 is 8. Then I have my bonus for the sneak attack, which is a D6 because I'm a tier 1. So I'm adding 2. So I'm on 10.
The dagger, as you lunge from the darkness, finds its way between the plates of his polished stone armor, and you hear the clinking sound as the stone or the dagger chips off the stone. And it's not enough to stop the blade, but it does kind of deflect it away from the super important stuff. And the creature stumbles forward with this impact to his back, and he's clearly sort of off balance, but still standing. And he whirls around. And in fact, I'm going to spend a fear to have him activate immediately. And although he's caught off guard, he's going to spin around and immediately make a wild slash. And he's rolled an 11.
My evasion is 13.
So sure enough, the stumbling forward and the off balance means his flailing attack has done absolutely nothing to you, and you're effortlessly staying out of his range as he's whooshing the dagger around with no effect. Marlow or Garrick, what are you guys up to?
Well, there's that. So I basically attacked the one that attacked me, but I do understand that there was a second one that was also approaching me, and that one's going to cop pretty much the almost cricket golf-like from the bottom upwards swing of my sword. I want to, if I don't kill it, I want it far away from me as well, and I'm going to hit it hard.
Great. So have you got a hope to spend to use that hit my
I
experience?
don't, unfortunately,
All
no.
right.
So
we're not
I'm
getting
just
the
gonna
bonus,
Straight
but-
up, going to hit it. And I've got a 3 with fear.
So you failed that roll with fear,
Yeah.
but you have an ability, I believe, that lets you take that as a hope instead.
Yeah, it's a Foundation Warrior one. It's called Call of the Brave. When I fail a roll with fear, I gain a hope.
So some innate optimism there. So take a hope for me. And unfortunately, you're swinging at this guy. He is clearly aware of what's coming, having seen it happen to his colleague, and deftly sidesteps this.
I ran up at him Happy Gilmore style and
Yeah.
saw it coming.
This giant sort of haymaker stroke. He steps out of the way, and he has a sort of look of disdain as you go stumbling past him. And in fact,
Out of range?
sure enough, straight away he's gonna try and capitalise on his advantage and swing at your back there. Fortunate for you, he's only rolled a 5, so again, you've got so much momentum carrying past him, he can't even keep up to get a knife in your back. Marlow, you stunned that thief going for the cart before. Talk to me about what you're doing now.
Did I do much damage to that?
You can't tell from where
I
you are.
can't tell. All right. Well,
He sounded like he had the wind come out of him, though.
well, at least I've knocked him down. I'm storming over to him. I know there was another thorny man trying to attack me, but I sidestepped it so easily. It's not a concern to me. So I'm going to storm over to it in a fit of rage again, using my experience, not on my watch. I'll spend another hope and attack it again.
Okay. So roll that for me.
I've rolled a 11 with hope.
And that was using the same electrical blast.
Yes.
So the creature there down behind the cart instantly drops. He sees your staff light. He sees the surge of electricity come up from the base to the tip and surge forth at him and drops back behind. And you see your lightning blast take a chunk out of the wood of the side of the wagon. But as far as you can tell, he's unharmed.
Do you know what happens to frogs or geckos when they get struck by lightning?
The same thing that happens to everything else.
Awful.
Still better than Halle Berry.
What an awful reference.
If you got that reference, shame.
Yeah.
Shame
You're as
them all.
old as we are, apparently.
So, Barnacle, the ambusher that was attacking you, sort of off balance and stumbling from you suddenly appearing and shivving him in the back. You going to follow up on that?
Initially, I was going to drag this out and keep leaping from shadow to shadow, but instead I've decided that I'm going to take this opportunity to try and rid us of one of these villains.
Excellent.
I've decided they're villains, but I'm pretty sure we could be the bad guys. I'm going to use a tongue attack of my ribbit people, and it is close combat. I think I even spend a stress to be able to do it, but it enables me to do a tongue attack.
Excellent. Do that for me.
I've given you a 21 with fear, but I believe there's going to be some bonuses or something to this as well.
That's all right. That's more than enough. Don't waste your time looking them up.
I love it.
I'll roll your damage for me.
Excellent. It's D12. It's a 9.
So describe for me how a successful attack with the tongue looks.
It would be that it shoots past him and you think that it's missed. And then all of a sudden it comes around the other side of him and he goes, and winds up around his neck and starts choking him.
And then there's
And his eyes go big like mine.
a crunch and he falls over
Oh no.
dead.
And a picture of his family falls out of his hands.
Oh no.
And what's your Schwarzenegger one-liner after you kill him with your tongue?
Are you a stamp? Because I'm about to lick it and send it.
It's terrible. We don't even know if they have a formalised postal system in this world, so it might be lost on him.
I'm glad you asked.
Excellent. So, Garrick and Marlow, you still have enemies facing you. I know, Marlow, you're throwing zaps at the one down at the cart there.
I am.
You going to persist in doing that? Are you going to change your strategy?
Yeah, no, I need to get the one away from the wagon. There's obviously a reason that they're going for our wagon. I'm keen to stop that happening. So I'm going to, again, unleash the fury of my dual staff, my electro bolt dual staff. 19 with fear.
So I will take a fear, and that's a success. Roll damage for me.
4.
This time, the bolt still misses him, hits the cart, but you see all the splinters and shrapnel from the cart fly up into him, and you see him flinch and recoil away from the wagon there. I'm going to spend a fear, and I'm going to activate one of these ambushes, which is the one that was initially swung at you, and he's now going to run over and try and smack Fitz using his dagger. He can see that his friend's tied up in a fight there with Garrick, and he's seen him try the Happy Gilmore style sword swing. So he's going to roll in and try and attack you there. And he's rolled a 10. What's your evasion there?
It's an 11.
Well, lucky for you. He comes in and you catch out of the corner of your eye, just as he gets there at the last minute, you catch him and manage to evade till eventually you have both of these daggers caught on your sword at the same time.
Ooh, I like
How does it go from there?
And again, there's nothing fancy about this. Garrick isn't going to do anything special except attack back and hit out at one of these. Now, 2 adversaries that I'm facing. And I've got a 13 with hope.
Roll me your damage dice.
That's a 5.
So, any modifiers on that one there?
Yeah, it's a +3 with my longsword, so that brings up to an 8.
Total of 8 damage. So you smash this with a giant swing straight into the one that was coming at you. The other one, you sort of shoved his dagger off the end of your blade and you swing with such a massive strike, it shatters the stone armor across his chest and he collapses down to the ground, obviously and clearly out of the fight. So there's just one left standing in front of you there, Fitz, and there's so Garrick's still sort of engaged with that one. Marlow, you're still blasting bolts at the one by the wagon, but Barnacle, you find yourself free now.
Would you describe me as back in the shadows?
Sure.
Yes!
You never left the shadow you emerged from, so I'm happy with that.
Amazing. I used a little bit of stress doing my tongue attack, so I'm up to 3 stress for those that are counting at home. Mm-hmm. My goal now is to bounce whilst cloaked, shadow to shadow, and emerge at my next foe. I have one with Garrick and one with Marlow.
You have one with Garrick and you have the one at the wagon that Marlow's sort of zapping long range at. One
yeah.
at the wagon, it's in a shady spot, and there's a deep pool of shadow
I could use the...
underneath the wagon.
I like that.
Ooh.
I like the idea of Nightcrawler style. I disappear and then reappear under the wagon in the flat frog pose.
Excellent.
Upside
So?
down on the bottom of it. I like it.
Oh,
So you can take a stress and find yourself teleported there.
I've done exactly that.
Wonderful. Would you like to make a attack from hiding?
I would. I'm going to emerge, still cloaked, and perform a sneak attack using my dagger on this one that is beside the wagon.
So roll with advantage for me on that strike from the shadows. So 13 with hope. You've still got advantage on that. So make your second hope dice roll.
Now it's a 14 with hope.
So that attack actually gets through. Roll your damage dice for me.
Excellent. It starts off as the D8 plus 1. So a 6 becomes a 7. However, I now get to add to this as well using my bonus. Sneak attack, a D6 I get to add on top. So 7 becomes a 10.
Fantastic. So this poor chap has had a lightning bolt in his back. He's had a couple more lightning bolts go near him. He's just got all these wood splinters thrown in his face. And all of a sudden, a ribbit appears, lunging out from beneath the shadows of the car. He was pretty sure there was no one in there.
Can I do a really cool move from underneath
sure
the car?
can.
It's my tongue fires out first and wraps around his ankle and goes whoosh and pulls him so he falls to the ground like, oh, can this get any worse? I've just lost my balance. And as he lands on the ground, I go "Nyah," and stab him in the neck.
Oh.
And as,
Wow.
and as I stab, one of my eyeballs goes and becomes twice the size.
He's
And
dead.
they're all like,
We were just trying to warn you about the Styx monster.
There's a really scary owl around here, but it's fine if you just talk to it nicely.
Oh, it's trying to get its cubs to daycare.
Right. There's one left. Garrick and Marlow, you're both free. Garrick, you're engaged with him. Which one of you two wants to go next?
I feel this is the time I should negotiate. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna hit and can I hit and kick at the same time? I don't know.
You can kick with both legs at the same time. You're very gifted.
Is this one damaged?
No, he's in fine health.
Right. Okay. I feel like I'm going to hit this one hard as well. So,
can I assist him from afar?
You absolutely can.
ooh,
Excellent. I'm
You
going to
know what?
spend the hope.
We
Can you
could tag
explain to
team.
me how that assistance works?
Why don't you? And this is all the. I got way too excited. Then it's what it is. Why don't you put your little? And I'm channeling the force here. Electricity thing into my sword.
Why don't
As
you
I-
retract that little quote and then we'll talk.
Oh, sorry.
Why don't you let Marlow tell me how?
Sorry.
How
I'm
he's
I'm going to
gonna
use my
assist you.
little
I
electro
got
thing.
way too
yeah.
excited there. Sorry. This is
No, genuinely.
This is Marlow's
I
moment.
actually
apologise.
had a very similar thought from afar using my magical electricity staff actually affect his armor rather than enchanting your sword, so it almost be like a taser kind of effect. So he's sort of standing there frozen, allowing you to wind up and have an almighty swing at the neck.
I like it, like Ghostbuster style. You're holding him,
Yeah,
holding
yeah,
him
yeah.
still,
Yep.
so there's no chance
So-
of me missing him.
Correct. You can have your
I like
happy,
it.
yeah, Happy Gilmore style run up and swing without a fear of a miss.
So do we just both
I'm
roll that?
Slimer.
Do we both roll those?
No, you roll and you get to re-roll the. And Marlow, Wex, you can roll a hope dice for me, and Garrick can choose which of those hope dice he wants to keep.
Well, I'm going to keep Wegs's.
So it's a critical with those two.
yes. So it's a double 7 with Wegs's.
Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Well, then what I'll get you to do is critical means you get to roll not only your normal damage, but you also add whatever the number is, whatever the dice is. So is it 1d6 or 1d8?
It's 1d8 plus
So
3.
you automatically get 8 plus 3 and you roll for more. So you're already at 11.
And that's a 4, 15.
So this poor ambusher gets he thinks he's just gone sword to sword with you and they've scraped the sword, the dagger off the sword, and he's just seen his friend get cut down, and he's probably thinking that this might be a good moment to try and run away, but all of a sudden this jolt of electricity hits him and makes his arms and legs lock up, and Fitz does the upward swing that enters somewhere around below his hips near his groin area and exits near one of his shoulder blades, and sure enough, slowly, each half of the body falls in either direction.
With a last breath of,
You get double the XP though because you created 2 enemies.
For a very brief moment.
So, congratulations. That's all the enemies.
cleft him in twain. Yes.
That's right. You fulfilled one of your life ambitions.
That's right. I hope they dropped coins.
And together, we will build a new empire, one built on unity, love, and mutual trust.
You've all heard Prince Alaric talking about love and tolerance, but do you know the real man? These secret recordings were discovered from inside his campaign headquarters. We apologise to listeners for the disturbing content when he said this about elves.
I swear, if one more of those knife-eared elf bastards wants me to meet their father tree, I'm going to...
But it gets worse. He had this to say about dwarves.
Dwarves? More like small, beardy engineer bastards.
And this about ribbits.
They're just frog-shaped, stupid green bastards.
And this about humans.
Bastards.
When it comes to hereditary ascension to the throne of empire, consider your vote. If you had a vote, which you don't. This message was brought to you by Alliance Against Alaric.
Flashing badger.
So you continue your journey towards the small town of Hush in the centre of the forest here, your destination. I want each of you to give me just one little anecdote of something that happens in the remaining couple of days of travel there that happened sort of uneventfully. Give me a little feel for the montage.
So I think that Barnacle and I had a little bit of a disagreement halfway through, but we managed to resolve it. It occurred late one night at the campfire. We'd run out a bit of a travelling mead, and I thought that perhaps if I licked Barnacle's back, I might get some sort of psychotropic feeling from it. Did not work.
Yep.
Gave me the tingles, though.
We have an issue of consent here amongst the group. Yep.
But we managed to work that out, and we've become closer for it.
Barnacle, seems like a good time to cut to you. Tell me a little anecdote of your travels.
Picture that it's dark and the wagon's moving slowly from left to right across the screen. But there's little colourful fireflies that get disturbed from one of the bushes as we move past, and they fly up into the sky over the top of us. This isn't even a joke. This is a beautiful moment. Why can't I be serious for once?
I'm just laughing because I feel like you're gonna.
But it can end with me eating the fireflies.
Yes, that is exactly what's going to happen.
And then you burp and it's a little bright
And then your
neon
farts
cloud.
glow for the rest of the trip.
They form a shape above our wagon, and the shape that they form is some sort of a clue for the rest of our mystery. And the shape is antlers of a stag. And then all of a sudden I go, and I grab one and I eat it, and my mouth glows, and it's like I've been eating a lolly.
I like that.
And you hear it.
I like the idea you do that as a party trick to make the rest of us happy or something like that.
You go, and you'll go, "Oh." I love that one time I try and be serious. You all lean in and be like, do something dumb.
Marlow.
It's fine. I don't want to talk about it. I know that I spent all this time trying to shoot an enemy with lightning bolts, and I did more damage to our wagon than the actual enemy. And
So as you're travelling, you're sort of running your hand over the divot in the middle of the wagon.
I'm actually doing some repairs. I'm like tapping the nail into
Replacing
the
the
wood.
plank and-
You're fixing it. And anytime anyone says, "Oh, yeah, good job," I just said, "Don't want to talk about it. I'm not ready to talk about it."
We're going to leave it there.
Oh, excellent.
And next week, hopefully we'll arrive at the town of Hush and find out what goes on there. Congratulations, you've reached the end of the first stage of your journey. Thank you to everyone who is listening. We were playing Daggerheart by Critical Role and Darrington Press. You can grab a copy on Drive-Thru RPG. If you do that, don't forget to use our affiliate links. And they've got some interesting stuff going on with online rules delivery and all that sort of stuff that seems like it could be pretty cool. But most importantly, leave us a review. In-Universe is our favourite. As you heard, we read out our absolute favourite reviews. And tell your friends about us. We would love to get some more listeners. Mike?
We have a Patreon for the channel, both for the podcast and the painting channel. That's right, there's a painting channel, but it includes our table reads when we do the fake commercials that you hear during the podcast. And we have a look at some sneak peeks of what's coming up next. And yes, there is a painting channel with me, Mike, which is Flashing Badger Painting. You don't even need to be into painting miniatures if you want somewhere goofy to hang out and to hear jokes about frogs swallowing fireflies. That's where you can find us. And also there is the Discord. There's over 400 of us now in the Discord. There's sections for the podcast, for the painting channel, little hobby activities and exercises we do with lots of prizes being given away. But that's your opportunity to hang out with us and shape the way of the RPGs to come.
Right, coming up next week, we're going to have part 2 of our adventure in the world of Daggerheart. Thanks very much for joining us. As always, I have been Gordon.
I have been Fitz.
I've been Wags.
I've been Mike.
Thanks very much. Catch you next week.
Flashing badger. Flashing badger. All right. Flashing badger.